Hello, I am Tatiana Lopez, and in this video, I will be talking about 6 political cartoons created during World War II by Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss did not just create political cartoons that were used as propaganda by U.S. government, but he also created political cartoons that criticized the U.S. government's isolationism at the beginning of the war. This cartoon is an example of his critique of the U.S. government and indifference to deaths of foreign children. In the cartoon, you can see a self-satisfied mother wearing a sweater bearing the legend America First, while reading a book called Adolf the Wolf to two horrified white-eyed children, telling the youngsters the story of how the wolf chewed up the children and spit out their bones, but those were foreign children and it didn't really matter. This cartoon can clearly portray the stand of Dr. Seuss towards the U.S. government's lack of action in trying to help save innocent defenseless children that were being killed in the war. As I said before, Dr. Seuss created political cartoons that criticize the U.S. government's isolationism. This image shows Uncle Sam laying in a neat, clean bed, looking composed and pleasant. Close next to him is a bed full of multiple smaller men looking sickly, surprised, and scared. Their blanket labels them as representing Europe. Above each of their heads hangs a sign labeling their illness. These illnesses were named for the multiple afflictions that Europe faced in the years leading up to the beginning of the Second World War. These afflictions are all based around the rise of dictators and fascism in Europe, including Stalin's dictatorship in Russia, and Hitler in Germany, and Mussolini in Italy, who both were fascist dictators. Uncle Sam is shown as thinking, "What a lucky thing we've got separate beds," and the captions read, "Ho hum, no chance of contagion." This sentiment portrays the American reluctance to become involved in Europe again, even as Americans could begin to see the problems in Europe escalating. The idea of separate beds also seems to recall the common sentiment among Americans that distance between the U.S. and European nations means that we should and can avoid becoming entangled in their problems. This sentiment can be traced all the way back to Washington's farewell address. The fact that the beds are so close together is meant to imply to the viewer that Uncle Sam's idea that he is safe is not true at all. The concept portrayed is that America will not take notice of the problems of Europe, and to those problems are very directly affect the American people. This political cartoon created by Dr. Seuss was used as propaganda by U.S. government to encourage the American people to support the war effort. The cartoon shows a bird that represents Uncle Sam in a before and after image. In the before image, he looks weak, and in the after image, he looks strong. This was because, according to the label, he was able to find guts. This cartoon was trying to encourage people to join the fight against Hitler. Dr. Seuss created many political cartoons for the U.S. government that were used as propaganda in order to motivate Americans to support the war effort. This cartoon shows Hitler and Tojo in a billboard and is asking a civilian who is supposed to portray herself what he has done to contribute to the war effort and what has he done in order to help their nation defeat those men who are evil. As we know, Dr. Seuss created a lot of propaganda for the U.S. government. This cartoon is an example of U.S. propaganda which shows an old man reading a newspaper with the heading, "Japanese attack the U.S. ship." The deer head is goading the man to support the nation. This cartoon was created to help the government obtain support from American citizens and for them to contribute to the war effort by purchasing war bonds and stamps. These cartoons that encourage Americans to contribute to the war effort were created after that Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. Dr. Seuss created many cartoons illustrating Japanese and Japanese American as evil people. This cartoon was published on February 13, 1942, and it shows the line of Japanese Americans in honorable fifth column spreading from California to Oregon and beyond, with each smiling person waiting to pick up a package of TNT, which is an explosive used in military shells, grenades, and bombs. They are, a caption explains, waiting for the signal from home. This type of propaganda was created because of the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, causing a distress to everyone from Japanese descent. This leads us to the end of our video. Thank you.